This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1558. I've paid off over $25,000 in credit card debt by Schroeder Gardner of MakingSenseOfCents.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is the show where I read to you from the best personal finance blogs on the web, with the author's permission, of course. So with that, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. I've paid off over $25,000 in credit card debt by Schroeder Gardner of MakingSenseOfCents.com. The title is true. Well, kind of. While I've never had a balance on any of my credit cards, I still make charges on them and incur debt even though it's paid off completely every month. So technically, I have had that large amount in credit card debt in the past few years. I got my first credit card at 18, and I was purely using it to gain credit for a long time. It definitely helped my score, and I was able to learn how to control my spending at a young age. Yes, I've paid that much in credit card debt, probably over that amount. Just recently, after our December credit card bill came, the balance for all three of our cards was around $1,500. Yes, that's a lot for 1 month, but of course, other months will be smaller. Also, I've seen a couple of other bloggers do this, and I thought it was interesting to see where others come in on the credit card debate. Some prefer to be mostly cash-based, whereas I would be lucky if I was caught with $1. Last night in my banking class, our professor had us raise our hands if we did not have credit cards. Only one person rose their hand. Do you have credit cards? I'm not sure if I was more surprised that only one person didn't have a credit card or the fact that the majority of us did. Then I started wondering about how much credit card debt some of these people might have. Started wondering if anyone was drowning in consumer debt, and the list goes on and on. You could tell that some were ashamed to raise their hands, but others thought it was funny. The reason why I like to use my credit cards. Number 1, rewards. Up until December of 2011, we always had a non-rewards Capital One card. I can't believe how much we've been missing out. We got $600 altogether in cashback sign-up rewards and enough points for around $100 in cash. Of course, it won't be this much all the time because our expenses aren't that high, but so far it's been nice. However, I don't spend more money in order to get more rewards. This is a common trap that people fall into. Number 2, cash flow. One thing that keeps getting reiterated in my classes is that cash flow is king. Yes, cash is good, but cash flow is great. My professor last night said he likes to use his credit cards to do this as well, and then he is able to get a better 30-day rate on his actual cash. He used to be a big bank executive, and now he's a bank consultant. As an FYI, this does not mean that I don't have enough cash to cover myself. I just like the extra 30-day cash flow. I'm not paying interest on any of this, so I'm not being negatively affected. I like having the flexibility of extra cash in my account, mainly because of my obsessiveness and having a large buffer in our checking account. Our buffer is big, and I would like to maybe switch to a penny-based budget so that everything is accounted for. I also know to stay below the recommended 30% utilization rate. Number 3, scared to carry cash. I tend to be an obsessive checker, so I'm always checking to see if my keys are in my pocket or that I haven't forgotten anything. I have 4 alarms in my bedroom because I'm scared of one not going off and ruining my whole day. Obsessive? Yes, but this is how I am with cash also. I don't like losing money, and I know I'd be obsessive with that as well. I would like to get into a cash-based system though. I feel like we could probably save a lot this way. Number 4, I'm able to control my spending. I positively know that I will pay my credit card off at the end of the month. Yes, I can admit that at first when I had credit cards, it was a little intimidating, but I still have never carried a balance. I can control my spending, and I am still fully aware with each purchase how much I have allocated to each section of my budget. This is a common problem for most. They're afraid that with credit card debt, they won't be able to control themselves. However, while all of this is said, I hate that my boyfriend uses his credit card for anything. I hate the random $2 fast food purchases because I'm terrified of going through the trouble of someone committing identity theft against us. Of course, our credit card carries protection from this, and so does our debit card, but the hassle is still scary to go through. While credit cards may work for me, they're of course not for everyone. Some people like to use only cash so that they can hold themselves more accountable. Some are afraid of not being able to stay under the recommended 30% utilization for a good credit score, among other reasons. You just listened to the post titled, "I've Paid Off Over $25,000 in Credit Card Debt" by Schroeder Gardner of makingsenseofsense.com. So picture this. Two professional advisors are sitting with a business owner. They've just successfully sold their client's business for millions of dollars, a lifetime achievement and milestone. They've maximized value and minimized taxes. But the owner sits there seemingly unfulfilled and uncertain. How could this be? The professional advisors sit back and think, have I met my client's objectives? To rapidly accelerate value and unlock wealth, the business owner must have business, personal, and financial goals equally aligned. Professional advisors must be prepared to help owners align these critical plans. Thus, the Exit Planning Institute came to be. As the only organization that offers the Certified Exit Planning Advisor credential, the Exit Planning Institute provides professional advisors with the training, knowledge, tools, and network needed to help business owners build more valuable and transferable companies. The SEPA credentialing program is a 1-week course that's available both in person and online. Listeners receive a special offer when registering. Enter code EXIT at checkout to receive $1,000 off retail price for any remaining 2021 program. Will you be prepared to help when a business owner turns to you as their advisor? Register today at earncepa.com. That's earncepa.com. I thought this was an interesting way to describe the utilization of credit cards. The way I see it, if you're not paying any interest to use credit cards and you're paying them in full every month, I wouldn't really consider this debt. I do all of my spending on credit cards, but because I no longer carry a balance, I don't see much difference between swiping a credit card, swiping a debit card, or using cash. Whichever way I choose to pay for something, that money is gone and it's tracked accordingly. The tracking has been key for me because I pay more attention to this and the budget I've developed than I do my bank balances when it comes to seeing how much money I have left to spend. If you're charging things to a credit card, but then looking at your bank balance to make a spending decision, you'll have an inflated sense of how much money you have available. Of course, I'm reviewing my bank and credit card statements every month to make sure everything looks right, but tracking against the budget is what is driving my spending decisions. Being able to control spending and be conscious and intentional about it is a skill that took me about a year to build, but it's been well worth the effort. I think the key is to find the budgeting and spending method that feels the most engaging so that you'll stick to it. That should do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. I'll be back tomorrow as usual, so I'll see you there on the Wednesday show where your optimal life awaits.